Nottingham Castle is a Stuart Restoration-era ducal mansion in Nottingham, England, built on the site of a Norman castle built starting in 1068, and added to extensively through the medieval period, when it was an important royal fortress and occasional royal residence. In decline by the 16th century, the original castle, except for its walls and gates, was demolished after the English Civil War in 1651. The site occupies a commanding position on a natural promontory known as Castle Rock, which dominates the city skyline, with cliffs 130 feet 40 meters high to the south and west. William Cavendish, 1st Duke of Newcastle, started to build the mansion in the 1670s. It was completed by his son, the 2nd Duke of Newcastle. This ducal palace was burnt by rioters in 1831, then left as a ruin until renovated in the 1870s to house an art gallery and museum, which remain in use. Little of the original castle survives other than the gatehouse and parts of the ramparts, but sufficient portions remain to give an impression of the layout of the site. The castle is owned by Nottingham City Council. After a £30 million restoration from 2018, running of the site was undertaken by independent charitable Nottingham Castle Trust with reopening on the 21st of June 2022. The castle closed again on the 21st of November 2022 when the trust went into liquidation owing the council £2.68 million, with all employees made redundant by the joint administrators. The castle and grounds reopened to visitors on the 26th of June 2023. Medieval history. The first Norman castle on Castle Rock was a wooden structure of a motte and bailey design, begun in 1068. 2 years after the Battle of Hastings, on the orders of William the Conqueror. This wooden structure was replaced by a far more defensible stone castle during the reign of King Henry II. Of an imposing and complex architectural design, which eventually comprised an upper bailey at the highest point of the Castle Rock, a middle bailey to the north containing the main royal apartments, and a large outer bailey to the east. For centuries the castle served as one of the most important in England for nobles and royalty alike. In a strategic position due to its location near a crossing of the River Trent, it was also known as a place of leisure, being close to the royal hunting grounds at Tideswell, the King's Larder in the Royal Forest of the Peak, and also close to the royal forests of Barnesdale and Sherwood. The castle also had its own deer park in the area immediately to the west, still known as the Park. While King Richard I, the Lionheart, was away on the Third Crusade, along with a great number of English noblemen, Nottingham Castle was occupied by supporters of Prince John, including the Sheriff of Nottingham. In the legends of Robin Hood, Nottingham Castle is the scene of the final showdown between the sheriff and the heroic outlaw. In March 1194, a historic battle took place at Nottingham Castle, part of the returned King Richard's campaign to put down the rebellion of Prince John. The castle was the site of a decisive attack when King Richard besieged it after constructing some siege machines similar to those used in crusades. Richard was aided by Ranulph de Blondeville, 4th Earl of Chester, and David of Scotland, 8th Earl of Huntingdon. The castle surrendered after just a few days. Edward III used the castle as a residence and held parliaments. In 1346 King David II of Scotland was held prisoner. In 1365 Edward III improved the castle with a new tower on the west side of the Middle Bailey and a new prison under the High Tower. In 1376 Peter de la Mare, Speaker of the House of Commons, was confined in Nottingham Castle for having taken unwarrantable liberties with the name of Alice Purrs, mistress of the king. That is all. Subscribe and post comments for future videos.